gentlemen, and everyone else out there in the LCK2 crew. Welcome back to another week of the Coca-Cola Zero League of Legends Champions Korea Summer 2016. We're back with week number 9. We're almost through this season. Tonight's matchup will be Longzhu Gaming taking on the ROX Tigers, or maybe vice versa. ROX Tigers on top of the standings, Longzhu towards the bottoms, and definitely maybe an uphill matchup. But what's in store for us tonight, Ellis?
Well, if you look at Longzhu, they did just come off, they are on a winning spree, but their wins are against CJ and Ever, whereas ROX's most recent winnings are over Samsung and KT. So two definitely different, comparisons in terms of their winning streak.
Sure, but you can see right there on your screen the Longzhu roster. Crash playing tonight. I'm super excited to see that guy.
So Crash in place of Chaser. It's definitely going to mix up some stuff, but I'm not sure if this is specifically because of the jungler matchup colliding against Peanut. But I don't know if that's going to make too much of a difference, because also Longzhu versus ROX has generally been unkind.
Yes, generally. And when we get to our match points, we'll get a chance to talk about that. But first, we want to talk about their opponents. With a roaring round of applause, it's going to be the ROX Tigers, or the definitely not ROX Tigers. They have changed their names, removed the ROX. However, for the purposes of today's games, it is still there. So, Smet, Peanut, Kuro, Prey, Gorilla, and Cry on the bench. This is the way that we are used to seeing the Tigers, although they have subbed out that mid lane matchup. Very strong, in fact, the strongest team with the most wins in LCK so far this season. And
it's nice to note that Kuro is starting today over Cry, and Kuro recently in solo queue has also picked up Malzahar.
Oh boy.
So that might specifically be why he's in place of Cry, because I'm not sure that Cry has actually been playing Malzahar at all. But Kuro tending to play a lot more control mages, especially in solo queue. Now also on Longzhu's side, one thing I can say, from having met a lot of them in solo queue, is Tristana is very popular.
Oh boy.
With their solo queue picks.
Well, let's go ahead and check out our match points for today's games. What sort of secrets can we find? We can find a little bit of a secret between the matchup. ROX Tigers 14-0 as far as their matchups against Longzhu all time. So that is certainly a little bit of a struggle. Now, you can see as the game goes later, that's where Longzhu like to take it. So taking things to the late game is going to be extremely important. So killing the big objectives like Baron and Elder Dragon are what Longzhu need to do to take the victory. And they definitely do need to show us that they know how to make victory down there at the end. I like to call that winning, and it's something that Longzhu have traditionally struggled with. They have as many games won as ROX Tigers have lost.
Okay.
So that is a little bit of an incriminating stat, but all can be remedied with a win here tonight. That'll definitely switch things up. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And that's the thing I love about a lot of Korean fans. If you're a fan of a team, you're a fan whether they win or lose. So if your team loses game 1, the fans just cheer harder, hoping for a win in game number 2. I certainly hope you guys are ready for a pretty crazy set of games. ROX Tigers came out in week 1, if you remember, with a little bit of a shaky start. It was like, okay, well, they
weren't looking so hot.
Yeah, well,
the first few weeks, and Samsung was looking absolutely like a monster.
Exactly. Same thing with Ever. First 2 weeks, they were great, and then things sort of changed things up. So anything can happen. I'm not necessarily digging that week 1 Aurelion Sol pick from Kuro. Definitely did not work out for them then, but hey, times have changed, and Aurelion Sol does work very well against Malzahar, a pick that Faker sort of brought back just to prove that he could actually win with every champion.
Yeah, well, Malzahar definitely one of the strongest champions in League right now. And again, as I mentioned, Kuro been playing it, so it might be one of the reasons that he's here, because he tends to, at least solo queue-wise, favor a lot more control mages rather than Cry. So definitely different tools that can be used in the mid lane when you see the swaps being used. Very similar to like Faker and EasyHoon were for SKT way back in the day. Mostly EasyHoon being the dominating force on control mages, whereas Faker was more accustomed to playing assassins and tempo and utility. So, you know, they have that in their tool basket.
Yeah, I'm actually super excited. Assassin rework patch coming up here in not too long. So
is it in the fall?
Yeah, it's not going to be for this season, and I don't even think it's going to make it in for playoffs. But you guys are out there playing solo queue, then maybe start practicing up your assassins because things are actually going to get really, really cool for that. Now, we are not on the current live patch just yet. We're going to be sticking to patch 6.13, if I'm not mistaken. Have been mistaken before, so we're not going to change things up too much, but we are going to get into our first game coming your way tonight. It's best of 3 between the ROX Tigers and Longzhu Gaming, starting off with Game 1, picks and bans.
We'll see how they choose to go about this.
Yeah, the most banned champions last week were, I think, Nidalee, Shen, Vlad, Sivir. You kind of get the idea. All of the strongest champions at their role. Now, Azir has traditionally not been banned, but it, together with Victor, are the 2 most picked mid laners so far. But a first ban, Tahm Kench, what do they know that maybe other regions don't, LS?
Well, Smeb is able to play Tahm, and so is Gorilla. So I think it's a very standard ban because Tahm is actually really powerful right now in a lot of matchups, and he also removes the ability to pick certain champions. For instance, he can actually even be used against Malzahar as a support or a top because he just denies his ultimate, he denies Ashe. You know, it's a very powerful champion right now in the current meta. They do first pick Nidalee away from Peanut, but it looks like they might respond with a jungle Hecarim.
Hecarim, I believe, is the... I think 4th most picked jungler worldwide right now, so he's starting to get up there. But I don't know if this Shaco hover is going to come in and be legit. I mean, one can dream.
It's Shaco.
Oh my god. Well, last time I got a chance to cast that champion, I think Insec helped Uzi get a pentakill with it. Yeah. So big fan of that champion and all of his incarnations.
Longzhu coming out with some really fast pick-and bans again.
Well, and you were the one talking about the Hecarim, and that's locked in for Peanut. So a nice aggressive jungle pick. Kind of fills that Rek'Sai role of being an AD jungler that isn't Graves.
I wonder if this Rammus hover is trolly or if it's a genuine potential pick.
Rammus has the highest jungle win rate right now.
He has 84%.
Super broken stats, but that's definitely not something you can just pick up and do well with.
The Rumble getting picked for Smeb.
And a Taric lock-in. That's actually a little interesting considering they don't know exactly what they're going up against. And
wow, Longzhu's picks, how quick they tend to go, I think is actually concerning. Because we can't see inside the booth. Well, we can see inside the booth, but it doesn't seem like there's a laundry list of pick bans ready where they're like, okay, if they pick this, we pick that. So the speed at which they're picking this, I think, is actually concerning because I can't imagine that they're really thinking through the team comp step by step. But that's just, you know, an assumption. I could be completely wrong. And it looks like, anyways, that aside, the Taric pick is interesting because it's going to have a lot of synergy with the Hecarim. Being able to get the stun-ins on the backline and, you know, really just going to enable ROX to have a lot more tools inside of teamfights. And they round out the final pick with LeBlanc against the Victor. So it's going to be Kuro on LeBlanc, which is very different from what I was saying about the control mages, because that is as assassin-y as you can get.
I'm actually really surprised they didn't pick Talia either, because one synergy that you can do with her and Hecarim is actually fear people back into the walls so that you can't really have too many places to go, and then when you Hecarim engage, it sets up Talia, and she does well against Victor. We'll find out exactly how well this LeBlanc for Kuro does against Victor as Longzhu look to pull themselves out of what has been a very bottom-heavy season and make it their way up towards the top, which is currently where the ROX Tigers look to solidify their lead with more wins coming their way tonight. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stick around, tell your friends as we get into game number 1, Longzhu versus ROX Tigers. That is absolutely insane. If you guys have the opportunity to come down to the Nexon Arena and check out LCK Live, then you should absolutely do that. It's actually the most fun to be a part of this crazy audience who is so hyped for this game, and hope you guys are too. Starting off with Longzhu on the blue side, facing off against the ROX. Tigers on in the red, on the red side as well. So talk about the lane swaps and what we might see, because we didn't actually touch on win conditions and objectives for the early games for each one of these teams.
Well, the lane swap would benefit ROX if they can successfully get it off and not get matched. We haven't seen what the first dragon is yet, so it's hard to say who could potentially benefit more from 4-man tower dives. But in terms of, you know, game focus, ROX is looking to explode off of just the first core item. So around the 12 to 15 minute mark, you're going to see ROX probably look for a lot of team fights and a lot of explosion, because their team comp is going to benefit a lot more from that than Longzhu, who has multiple scaling champions. Gnar needs to scale up, Nidalee needs to scale up, Victor needs to scale up. So it's going to be decided by Longzhu's ability to, you know, not just get run over by ROX's team composition.
Now we are going to have those lane swaps here come in. Double jungles on both sides, or yeah, okay, so just a little bit of leash there. I was expecting to be a little bit more hardcore, but Gnar and Rumble will both be down on the bottom side, and you're going to see a lane swap up towards the top with some early jungle camps taken for both duo lanes, so early level 2s coming in there.
And everything looking pretty fine right now. Again, we're gonna know what that dragon is.
Fury's so good. His stats, if you actually just look at them independently of the rest of his teams, are actually super insane. And there's actually kind of a battle between him and Emperor early on in the season to say, well, hey, you know, which AD carry do we start? And I think that made itself fairly clear as the season drew on. Fury just putting up some absolutely huge numbers.
Yeah.
So if you look at the stats that were on the screen right there, you can see that game 1 is usually pretty close, but game 2, you kind of get dominated there towards the end. And this is, of course, from the first round robin kind that these teams faced off. If you remember that game 2, you probably want to forget it if you are a Longzhu fan. But I don't know, so far you did talk about maybe it would benefit them if the lane swaps were not matched, but turns out they were. So who's ahead for the foreseeable future?
Well, for right now, it's probably going to be Longzhu, because, you know, ROX isn't going to have an ability to really accelerate too much at this point in time. Especially notice how top lane is shoved underneath turret, but Nidalee is covering because she's playing west-centric, whereas Hecarim is east-centric. Kuro about to go under a little bit of pressure here.
Chain does latch. He's trying to run away, but Crash, oh my god, we all know what Crash can do on Nidalee. Oh, he actually jumps at the wrong one. Kuro burning down from red buff, but the last auto attack will give Crash first blood. But will he go down here? They're trying to 2-hit. Crash, can he turn it around? Oh my god, no. Peanut picks up the kill. Frozen.
Frozen had flash.
Yeah, where was that? Summoner spell at exhaust use up in the top lane onto Fury. Fury going a little bit far forward. Teleport channeled in here and not completed.
Okay. That was a little interesting. I feel like Frozen could have chased down Peanut if he just flash lasered. But I guess we don't know the exact cooldown remaining on his laser, but I feel like that would be very cookie cutter. But not the end of the world. They still did manage to get the first blood. So that is all that matters.
Definitely true, especially on Crash's Nidalee, a champion we've seen him go absolutely nuts on over the course of this season. The guy has been insane, and I'm actually really excited to watch him play here on, I'm not sure if that's his signature champion, but it's one that we've seen him, he Flame Horizon, the enemy jungler, and I forget who it was. Last time we got a chance to see him play Nidalee, and it was pretty dominant, let's just put it that way. So excited for the first blood to see how far that goes.
And we can notice that almost all the laners for ROX are losing very, very slightly in CS.
Nice pillar there, Pure, just being a jerk. Pillaring out Praying Gorilla, so they're not going to be returning back to base, at least not until they shove in this wave.
Yep, this wave is in a very, very bad spot right now for ROX. Because they can't really farm too efficiently. Also, Crash did just spot out Peanut, so they know exactly where Peanut is. Looks like, however, Peanut did just get some
time
intel.
to go there. Tarek, highest win rate this season. You might be about to find why. Oh no, you flashed into the stun! Fury not the right place to be. And in comes Peanut, red buff on, but Pure with a flash under the turret.
Yeah,
will save at least his own life.
And you know, what they could actually do right now is, because Prey is still relatively healthy, I think that they could have 3-manned that turret, because the additional minion wave would have arrived to start tanking, and they could have demanded that Crash come out of the jungle. Crash, he does it anyway, but I think that they dropped an opportunity in picking up an additional wave, which it isn't the end of the world, but it could have definitely caused some more panic, and if Crash didn't elect to go top lane, it would have forced him to go top lane. So, you know, a little bit of stuff going on right there, but ROX already starting to pick up the pace. 500 gold lead, not, you know, gigantic by any means, but that loss of summoner spell.
Here comes Peanut,
Yeah.
Ghost on, trying to knock Frozen away from the turret, but missing a lot of spells will mean that Frozen survives for a little bit longer. Frozen, should also be noted, is starting in the mid lane here. Oh man, Equalizer.
Oh, it looks like they might be trying to trap. Oh, does Crash know that?
Peanut's not level 6 either, and Crash might actually come in here and pick up a kill. Peanut might actually just die. There's the Equalizer coming in, a teleport in there as well. Kuro will back off of this one, Expression hopping away. Peanut's in a little bit of a rough spot. The spear comes out, and they're just going to bait it right into the waiting clutches of Crash.
Nice little pickup there by Longzhu. So credit to them.
I guess Crash doesn't actually have clutches, those are bird things, but he's got jaws, there we go. Picking up that kill onto Peanut, and you know, Peanut and Crash kind of occupy the same general role for both of their teams. They're very aggressive, carry-centric, snowbally junglers. We've all seen Peanut get crazy far ahead, and we've all seen him drop behind, and when he does, it tends to be a little bit rougher for ROX to synergize, to get through the early games. Peanut definitely puts on so much pressure. Same thing for Crash, super dominant, and already 2 kills under his belt. Bode well for Longzhu early on.
Yep. And if you take a look at Peanut's build, it is boots of swiftness. So he's looking to really, you know, go fast.
Hey man, you get free AD from that, so sounds good to me. They do have the Sivir as well, so that's going to be super cool. And you got an AoE stun on yourself from the Taric Bulwark if that's what decides to happen. I still can't believe Taric has an 88% win rate in LCK. You can thank Achani for that. He definitely contributed quite heavily. And of course, the ROX Tigers, a very winning team, definitely know how to do that with Taric. Maybe look to pad that stat a little bit more. Nice spell shield there by Prey. It's like that spell does absolutely no damage anyways, but just getting the free mana where you can. Crash now walking through a ward into the enemy jungle, or into his own jungle. No real surprise to see him venturing out of the enemy jungle. He's probably going to be spending quite a bit of time there.
So one of the interesting things going on right now is, even though Longzhu has had some fairly nice pickups and salvaging of some situations, the mid lane CS difference is actually enormous, with almost a 20 CS gap right now between Frozen and Kuro. And this isn't something that you want to be happening. Now, in top lane and in bot lane, well, I mean, relative to the laners, they're doing okay, and Crash not managing to actually get as far ahead in CS as he would like over this Hecarim. But when the mid-game approaches, the difference between Kuro and Frozen is going to be a pretty big problem for Longzhu.
All right, well, the 2-game win streak after losing 5, definitely a welcome benefit, boon for Longzhu fans. So at least starting to put some wins together up on the board. The words win streak and Longzhu do not necessarily go hand in hand this season, although that's the situation they find themselves in. Bouncing in, where's the Megadar? Still gets him up against the wall. The stun does land. There's the spear coming in, and Crash gonna crush his Expression to pick up the kill.
Really nice just now by Expression and Crash.
Peanut getting scouted out, trying to come around behind this turret up top as well. Gonna Ghost, he's gonna commit to it, even though Longzhu know he's gonna have that Cosmic Radiance right on top, no damage. The stun does land as well, and Fury, not quite so lucky. He is out of there early, but Gorilla actually gonna, whoa, Pure?
Yeah, they're taking a lot of unnecessary damage, and before that was about to happen, I was curious if Crash was actually going to re-gank Smeb immediately after the teleport. That's a technique I like to call the Bengi, because Bengi popularized it so much, you know, when he was on his rise of becoming a jungler a few seasons ago. But it looks like he elected not to do that.
Peanut actually just gave up his Raptor camp to Crash when he saw him coming up through the mid lane. Didn't want to force that fight at all. Turns out buying Split Boots does not make you die to Nidalee any slower. So he is able to, or forced out of his top jungle, Crash up there and shoring up that upper side. So Crash is actually at a super great spot right now. And that kill given over to Expression. What is that? How does that change the landscape? Okay,
this
well,
is dirty.
I can't even ask you that question because the landscape's about to change right now. Expression, does he know how dangerous this is? Now, Equalizer is not up, so probably not the strongest three-man gank potential surprise. But Expression doesn't have his ult either, so he's forced to back off of this turret.
Yeah. So this is actually really nice by ROX because what they're going to do is they're going to trade tier 1 top tower for tier 1 bottom, but they're also going to pick up the Cloud Drake. Now, the Cloud Drake, this is the patch where Cloud Drake doesn't give the
boosted move speed.
Yeah, the boosted
bonus move speed.
Right.
I should
but
say.
It is important because there is a Hecarim on the team. So Hecarim will get that extra damage on impact. Then he'll lose it while he's in combat. But that is a nice little bit of AD.
Why does Impact get the damage? He's an NALCS?
Oh, wait, isn't he? Oh, yeah, he is. He is.
That is true.
Yeah.
Along with many other world champions, sort of the retirement home there. Or China, one or the other.
Piglet and Impact.
There you go.
Except Piglet, I think, is in a Challenger Series right now.
Yeah, that is true,
so
man.
Is this actually continuing to fault? No, but still, he's still actually a pretty good player.
Pretty good. I feel like that's fair. So mid lane, it's fair to call Kuro a pretty good player. He's done that whole get to the Worlds finals pretty well. Doesn't necessarily look incredible or as incredible this season, but he's still helped his team to the place they are right now.
Yeah, they know that this gank is coming. Oh, Kuro probably going to be able to latch on.
Oh my god, great equalizer. Actually cuts Fury off a little bit towards the top, forcing him a long way around. Peanut's going to try to actually, he just pushes Fury in. Fury's going to get blown apart. The fear going into Fury, but he is actually able to dash right away. A nice stun comes up. It does catch Expression. A big burst down from Kuro, but he might actually be in a little bit of a rough spot. Here comes the Cosmic Radiance, some invincibility for everyone. Kuro trying to get out of there. Very, very low. Nice spell shield there for Fury. He's trying to run away there, but oh my god, the Chaos Storm is so strong. Expression jumping forward, hits the rock onto Smeb. Crash looking to go in on anything. The flash, the damage, but the Proto Belt's too good. Kuro goes back in for extra damage. No chain to hit there. Expression might have just blown up, and the ROX Tigers somehow make it out alive.
Yep. That was a really beautiful disengage. They might still lose a lot here. Depends how much tower damage Longzhu elects to put down, but because of that, Praying Gorilla stay anyway. There's no more real damage threat. In terms of looking at the lanes, though, I honestly think that Longzhu benefits the most out of that. But let's take a look at this replay really quick, where you see Smeb throw down the equalizer to get that slow on. That's so that Kuro and Peanut can get into position a lot sooner. They instantly just delete Pure from the fight, but Peanut misses his ultimate primarily because of Fury having Flash. They overestimate, I think, how much damage they could inflict onto Expression before his ult would go active, and that gives Longzhu enough time to get into position to begin threatening lethal on a lot of ROX's champions right now. So because of that, they go into full disengage mode. They barely get out by the skin of their teeth. Crash not able to pick up any kills with his spears at the very end there, but still, at the very end of that, if you look at how all the lanes were, Longzhu comes out ahead.
So as far as team fighting comes, ROX are kind of gods at it. We've seen some crazily long team fights. I think the last time these two guys go down, oh my god, that culling! Straight to the dome, but Kuro just narrowly makes it out alive. That is actually impressive.
That's...
I have no idea how he survived that. Now Equalizer coming out just to push off the turret, and it just barely survives with 33 health.
It's still gonna go down, but, you know, valiant effort.
100th of its HP.
Wait.
All that happens is one minion clicks on it. Oh my gosh, so close.
They still, I believe, deny the extra gold.
That is true, and the local experience as well. Yes. So, not going to get those. Expression might be in a little bit of a rough spot. Teleport coming top lane. Here's Kuro! And no turret for Expression, so we'll see. First chain going to latch here. We're going to need some extra damage. Second chain, though, to hit. Just controlling it long enough for Smeb to come in and pick up himself his first kill of the game, I believe.
And this could also even translate into Rift Herald. They're definitely be able to pick up top tower here. Expression not having teleport, they don't have any players that they can allocate to defending that. So it might be an easy pickup for Smeb, and he has teleport if Longzhu tries to go for a dragon play or if they elect to keep pushing, but it doesn't look like that is going to be what they want to do. Also, I'm a little bit surprised, by the way, if we just take a quick look at item builds, I'm really surprised Prey did not pick up a culling, given the advantages that he secured for himself over Fury.
Well, Kuro picked up the culling from Fury earlier.
Cull, yeah.
It didn't work so well. But yeah, the culls, I'm actually really surprised we don't see more of those in like almost every game. It's just such a good, I don't have to win the game because I just win if I stack this item. And, you know, that's a little bit of a strong version of the statement. But more gold, always good. Although if you're Prey, you're actually having a great game so far anyway. Fury, not quite so much. And even though Crash started out very strong and is still very ahead, can Longzhu use his strength to snowball into more objectives? Looks like they will try and succeed, but it is only a Cloud Drake, although they do deny that for Peanut.
Yep. So a lot of Longzhu's gold lead right now is also inside of Crash over the Hecarim, and that's primarily just because of the CS differential. So if you're looking at the gold score on top and wondering how is that the case, well, yes, one tower is going to play a part, but they're still relatively close, and I don't think this is what they need to be doing right now. They don't need to force any plays. They don't need to overextend any lanes because they're the scaling team comp. ROX really needs to make something happen within the next few moments here, because then, if they don't, Longzhu actually has a temporary phase where then their champions base scaling and item scaling is going to kick in and be a little bit superior. Not that it can't be you know, worked around by just superior positioning leading up to a team fight, but it can definitely be problematic.
Can be. We'll see how the scaling works out here. And of course, it doesn't matter how well you scale if you just get caught out and die, which seems to have been a little bit of a struggle for a lot here. But oh man, bouncing in. Oh my god, even through the flash, the Mega Gnar ult is too good. Expression bops him on the head. Smeb is out of there, and so most likely is this upper second tier turret.
Yep. And this is not what ROX wanted to have happen. Now Gnar does lose Mega Gnar. I think they just need to kill those minions.
Well, the turret's gonna go down. Here's the Cosmic Radiance, though. Expression up in the front lines, having to bounce out of there. But oh my god, Kuro going deep in that! And he's gonna pick up an easy double kill to start off the fight. Frozen trying to turn around, but Prey lives! Peanut with the kill for the dangerous game heal, and the ROX Tigers, so good. How did they do it,
wow.
LS?
That was really impressive. They did get a turret and they only lost 3 lives. Gold-wise, it's an even trade, but honestly, the fact that ROX was able to orchestrate that the way that they did was so impressive because it was without Smeb. Smeb didn't even cast Equalizer. So you take a look at the replay, and the tower's going down, but the angle in which Peanut finds himself getting onto Longzhu and follow that up with Taric, Kuro comes in and just deletes everyone. And I think that when they were taking the tower, they should have just positioned themselves a little bit better to prevent this, because a huge part of this was the Taric stun matched with the 4-man Hecarim.
Oh, another team fight brewing. You can see in the mini-map there as Expression coming in from the side, gets a slow and Prey. He's going to sacrifice his life there, but more kills might follow here. Chain onto Pure, so he's not going to be able to continue. Another one onto Expression, chaining everybody up in here. So yeah, trying to keep that second turret from falling into the counterattack.
So some wins for both parties coming out. Crash continuing to farm up. He is 2-leveling Peanut right now. So he's a pretty big factor in their team comp.
Yeah, so it turns out he's pretty good. So
yeah.
Crash at this point, kind of monstrous, although he will be going into an Abyssal Scepter, which will help his Cougar form, but isn't going to make his spears as incredibly strong. He's going for more straight AP. Peanut getting pillared away there. Crash just jumps over the wall.
Peanut getting pretty mad, his entire jungle being stolen.
Well, if Peanut had a ward, he actually could have charged through to the Gromps over there. I think that wall's thin enough to do it, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere some challenger jungle main is just like, well, it's only situational, or it's not even that strong, but possible. I just like to believe that as many incredible things are possible as possible.
Peanut is about to complete to Triforce, by the way. In fact, I would be very surprised if he doesn't already have the gold for it, which means that any play that they look to make in the next minute or so is going to be very cheese-oriented and just a luxury pickup that they might look for. I think honestly right now Peanut's just wasting time running around the map. He should just recall, get his Triforce, and get back out there.
He likes running around the map. I mean, to be fair,
he's playing Pokemon Go right now.
You could be running around the first version of Summoner's Rift from, I think, 2009. I don't know if you remember that box art. I actually have the box copy of League of Legends from when I bought it in stores.
Do you have the rare skins?
I do. It's the Silver Kale and the King Rammus from the beta.
There you go.
Some good stuff, man.
Do you have Black Alley?
Oh, I think you could buy Black Alley at some point.
Oh.
So I just did that. I think it was a giveaway from some online contest that I got
sick.
it. But yeah,
good.
all that to say that running around Summoner's Rift, now a much more beautiful experience. In case you guys don't believe me, go Google like 2009 League of Legends. We have come a long way. And whoa, Crash needs to go a long way away from here. Now he does have Expression, but no Meganar here. Crash getting feared onto the Equalizer, but he's able to pounce over the wall and get out. Expression, maybe not quite so lucky. Runs into a Taric stun and more coming his way. Prey on the kill, and that will be the 9th of the game for the Tigers.
And the next dragon spawn, we actually did just get to see it. It is going to be an air dragon, so actually really fortunate that Longzhu was able to pick up that dragon before, because a double air drake Hecarim colliding with you, it's a little, it's not too nice.
Well, why don't you just call it a sky worm at this point?
Skyworm?
Yeah, man. It's a cloud drake, man. Clouds made of moisture.
All right.
Interestingly enough, which means it's closer to the ocean drake than it is to, I guess, the air, because you can have air without clouds. Unfortunately, you can't have that in Korea right now, as it is monsoon season. So there are actually just cloud drakes everywhere here, man.
It didn't rain today, though. I was really happy.
You say that now.
Oh man,
well,
I'm
we're
gonna
walk
leave and it's gonna
outside
be
the
raining.
studio afterwards. And it's gonna be pouring down rain.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my umbrella. One day.
Moving forward now, we're probably going to see some posturing from ROX as this next dragon approaches. And huge credit for Longzhu for actually managing to consistently stay ahead in the gold lead, especially with all those problems. And also, if you take a look at the mid lane CS, Frozen now ahead of Kuro, so that was not the story for the first, early mid part of the game. But it looks like ROX has successfully stolen all the vision surrounding this dragon, and so that's probably just going to translate immediately into a dragon attempt. I would be surprised if they don't take it. They have the teleport up onto Smeb, not up on Kuro, but that doesn't matter as he is already in position.
And all this gives time for Fury to come back out of base with that Black Cleaver completed.
Yep.
So that's the sort of new school Korean Lucian build, but I don't know. I think we saw that be very popular and then sort of fall off again. It looks like it's back in this situation. What do you think that builds specifically coming out there for Fury?
Well, the problem for ROX is that their base armor on most of the targets is going to be relatively low because of how they itemize.
No, Crash, don't do it. Okay, Peanut's going to take the fear for the team.
Yeah.
He's going to get himself that Cloud Drake, and it's Mountain coming up next.
Yeah. So, as I was saying about the armor values, generally no one on ROX is going to be building too much armor. So outside of having Gorilla's ultimate come out on Taric, Fury is going to be dealing pretty close to true damage on most of the targets. Also, the utility that it grants Lucian is just immense.
Wait, did Kuro... Okay, I couldn't see Kuro. He was going in off screen, and I think he was trying to kill Fury. Couldn't exactly tell what was happening there, but... as far as Crash goes, he's now completed his Abyssal Scepter. He'll be in a great spot. However, after a little bit of a rough start, kind of getting bullied around, Peanut has completed a Trinity Force before even his jungle item, and he has a pretty dominant score there himself, although he is down about 40 CS, so that is a big difference.
Yep.
Pings into the Rift Herald pit, or the Baron pit at this point. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. Just clearing out wards. Longzhu's setting things up. But do they really want to take a fight yet? ROX might face check there, but no.
Activation of the Yumus, that can
It's
be a
got
little
a pretty
problematic.
short cooldown.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be up in time.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're actually, oh, well, we say that, but all right, well, it looks like he's just getting zoned away from being able to get any of that farm up in top lane. And both teams just sort of posturing right now, and this is a little bit interesting given the fact that ROX is the ones that actually need to make something happen, because the longer this game goes, the more that it benefits a lot of Longzhu's champions rather than ROX's.
Definitely Longzhu, a late game team, sometimes out of necessity, not out of design, but when they do get to the late games, what we saw in our match points was that taking big objectives is going to be very important. because they do find themselves in the late game a lot. And the stats we showed earlier, the bar graphs indicated that game 1 usually goes much better for Longzhu than it does compared to game number 2's. So definitely need to see a strong performance here, maybe come out with a win, because game 2 is statistically very a much more difficult experience for Longzhu. Interesting to see Frozen back on the roster. Frozen re-signed with Longzhu at the same time that Flame did. And while we have seen interesting performances from I can't even finish it. Fury, he's trying to run away from that. Does actually flash and dodge both of those Taric stuns. That time flashing away from the stuns instead of into them. So nice to see a lesson learned.
And they will get his flash out there, which is pretty big. Had they landed that tether, though, from Kuro, it would have been lights out for Fury.
That would have been so
and
sick.
That probably would have translated into a Baron call, which I'm not so certain that Longzhu would have been able to contest or even, take a fight for, even if they managed to get superior position. So now it looks like they're trying to force the attention away from Baron, which is why they drew Crash over to the right side of the map to try to put Smeb underneath pressure, because they definitely have kill potential on Smeb, and as I say that, here we go.
Yeah, no questions about that. Just straight up going for the dive. Now, Expression's pretty low, and he's kind of taking one for the team. Yeah. Expression gives up his life that ROX can start this Baron. Now, no stun landed from that Taric. Peanut, though, very low as he charges in, and it does not look like things might go well for ROX here. That Chaos Storm damage comes in. Kuro, you're not as sneaky as you think you are. Crash is actually going to force the flash. The Crash Flash, and ROX
Oh, and now they're going for the Baron.
What do you think about starting this up here after they just chased ROX away?
Well, they chased ROX away, but oh, well, hold on.
Lots of damage from Fury. Kuro over the wall, maybe a little bit out of position, and Gorilla's going to go down. Miss on the spear there. Baron, very high health, and Longzhu might continue to get poked out a little bit here. Fury starting to get chunked out too, and yeah, Longzhu are forced to pull off.
Okay, so they sacrificed Gorilla to deny the Baron attempt, so credit to ROX right there, but even more credit to Longzhu, because they managed to pick up the kill onto Smeb in bottom lane and then successfully deny the Baron attempt and pick up a kill. So you just see basically they're posturing, they're trying to make sure that Longzhu cannot take the Baron, and Baron resets because of this, because of how far they managed to pull them off it. So had Baron not reset, they probably could have went to secure it, given that Peanut had no ability to prevent it or go into a smite fight. Not necessarily that he might have won. A 2-level jungler difference is pretty big when it comes to smite fights. So, you know, the game enters back into this phase, and we're probably just going to see both teams posture until the upcoming Dragon. If anything, ROX might look for a cheese onto someone.
Not above that. They have actually tried that a couple times, but they've also been really good at scouting out a couple of hide-on-bush attempts from Longzhu. Checking things out before they go in there. The current situation, though, with some big item buys coming in, means third completed item from basically... okay, so we do have Smeb's third completed item. Same thing for Prey. Kuro working on it. Either Void Staff or something along those lines coming in. Most likely Void Staff. We'll see what's up there. Whereas Frozen looks like he's still working on his Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
Yeah, as you mentioned about the blasting one, it probably is going to be Void Staff, because the magic resistance on Longzhu's team is pretty high across almost every target. You see the Hex Drinker on Fury, Abyssal Scepters on both the mid laner and the jungler, and you have the Spirit Visage on Expression. So lots there. No Solari's Locket yet for Pure, but once that completes, it's going to be a lot more problematic for LeBlanc to deal out a lot of damage during the team fights. And also Smeb, because Smeb's damage is mostly always periodic, so it definitely hurts a lot more rather than LeBlanc, because his damage gets affected in intervals rather than just outright bursts.
Now, am I crazy, or did Gorilla sell his gold generation item?
Gorilla might have, yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing that, because a lot of times we'll see supports either combine their Sightstone with their gold generation item into an eye item. This time around, we actually see the Ruby Sightstone, which is new, improved, and super good. So nice to take note of supports. If you are a support out there and you're not used to getting Ruby Sightstone, definitely pick it up.
Looks like they're going for a sneak, but it is detected because there is that pink ward.
Yeah, and he knew it immediately. Now, that might actually signal ROX to take this away. Crash definitely has steal potential here if he wants to hop into the back of the pit. Spear was on target, but was not in time. That'll be a Mountain Drake for ROX Tigers.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big win. The Mountain Drake is going to open up a lot more windows.
The next one's Elder, too, so that's the last elemental.
And they're trying to have Kuro do something to Expression, but just way too much HP right there.
Yeah, he's going to be a monster. Might still need some more magic resistance, but oh wow,
okay,
Crash.
Yeah, they were trying to hunt the Cougar.
Usually the other way around.
Yeah, usually the Cougar tries to hunt you. But
Crash, of course, a higher level than most of the ROX Tigers champions. In fact, all of them. So should theoretically be doing it, but actually
just the highest level in the game.
Yeah, really insane to look at that. 16 on Crash, super important for the strength that Longzhu has coming in here to the mid to late game. We're starting it up. Will Crash's now Void Staff completed Nidalee be able to carry the team in the way that they need?
Yep.
Which is without dropping them. They've definitely dropped it. If Hotshot was playing on the team, he'd definitely be able to tell them that. But instead, we've got ROX starting up, or in the Baron Pit, has yet to start it.
Now, if they had 2 Mountain Drakes, they might actually be able to 2-man it with Prey and Peanut, and just leave the other members to make Longzhu think that they're just baiting.
2 Mountain Drakes, you can 2-man just about anything.
Yeah.
So strong.
So, unfortunately, they only have 1, so they're not at that point where they can do that yet. If they were perhaps both 6 items, that would be a potential option, but unfortunately not the case. So their Baron bait, not really going to work. And we're just going to see the game continue to go even longer. And Kuro dropping the ball mechanically a few times tonight, but he's also had really impressive plays mechanically. So a little hot and cold. He's like a Katy Perry song right now.
Oh my god. Also has tons of magic.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Crash will still get away.
He missed the stun.
Dodged. Yeah, well, missed, dodged, whatever you want to call it. He's out of there, safe and sound, and that's going to be a Hecarim ult, a Gorilla ult, which turns you into melee form and only allows you to jump and swing with your arms, but nice to see that ROX at least trying to make plays. Unfortunately, Crash, when he got pushed in by oh my god, Fury just walked in melee range. All right, well, he is actually out of there safe and sound. Now Smeb very low and getting pushed back. The ROX Tigers pulling in full retreat, and in the back line it's Frozen, able to pick up Smeb, but now damage coming in off some big crits there. Prey able to flash up the wall, but it's more kills coming in for Longzhu. What's happening to the Tigers right now? They're disengaging, but they take a 0-for-2 exchange.
Well, I have no idea what Smeb was doing. You can't make a play like that unless Hecarim has his ultimate. So Smeb is really holding ROX back this entire game.
Oh, Longzhu do actually get scouted out there in the Baron Pit, but they will still start it up. Now they do have to worry about ROX marauding around the side. Oh my god, Crash almost got assassinated. And Peanut's dead for another 20 seconds. So.
Yeah, Smeb has teleport. If they can just hold this off until Smeb can teleport into the fight.
Yeah, Fury's taking a lot of Baron damage. Prey actually will be going down. He did take a little bit of one for the team. Perfect exhaust saves Fury's life. But look at Kuro! He gets a double kill off of jumping. He might even be getting one. Oh my god, Kuro! How does he do it? It's a triple kill for the Tigers. Their mid laner is pretty good at League of Legends. Might even be more coming in, especially trying to kite this out. But Peanut back from the dead, putting him back in the ground, and that is going to be a 4-for-1, 4-for-2 rather, exchange for the ROX Tigers. Kuro, the god.
Yeah,
hashtag it, put it on Twitter, tweet at LolKuro with a 0. Let that guy know he's pretty good at League of Legends.
Yeah, I don't think that Frozen's going to be able to get there in time.
He's on his way.
He's on his way, and there are no flashes except on Gorilla.
Kill on, okay.
Oh no.
Here comes the Cosmic Radiance. Now it's not going to turn Baron invulnerable.
Okay.
And Peanut will have a fight here. Stuns will land onto Frozen, but a nice gravity field stuns everybody all up. Frozen, unfortunately, melee range, not what Victor's best at. He will go down. That just gives another free kill, and Prey even able to save the base.
Yeah, Kuro did so much right there. Take a look at this replay. Especially going in onto Gorilla. The exhaust comes out to try to limit the damage, but Prey is going down anyway. But Kuro finds all the right spots to just get into. He deletes Nidalee from the fight.
Watch his bulwark here. This is absolutely insane. Last second coming in there, allowing him the triple.
That was just fantastic salvaging by Kuro. He might have just won them the game.
You can't, like, you might not even be able to say ROX Tigers are so good, but if you have to say something about them, they are so good at team fighting.
Yes.
Team fights are where they thrive. If there was just no laning phase, if this is one of those games where you don't have any... Oh, okay. This is deja vu? I think we've seen this once already this game. Crash still able to survive.
In the same area.
Yeah,
exactly. The same exact area, yep.
Hence the remembrance.
Void Staff now also completed, by the way, for Kuro. So a lot of Magic Pen on that build. Abyssal Scepter, Void, Sork Pen Boots. And it looks like the next item of choice will be the Death Cap. And Crash steals a Scuttle Crab. And that's
just do that.
That is really, really big. Because that's going to mean that Longzhu is going to have...
vision of the next
they're going to have the next upcoming dragon intangible vision. There's going to be no way for ROX to deny it.
Peanut trying to front through the turret, Expression there to body block him. No Mega Gnar here for this fight, so most likely just wave clear. Wave clear trying to come in here for Longzhu. Turret dropping lower there to double Baron empowered cannon minions, but they do get cleared out from the long ray of the law. Frozen, new to the team, new-ish to the team, but still performing very, very well. Crash carrying it up there as well, but there's only so much you can do against Peanut charging forward. Okay, well that's the second time in a row for Expression missing that Mega Gnar. We saw that in the highlight reel, and Spear lands on Smeb. No chase though. Kuro on the split push. That wasn't even a 5-man mid lane push for ROX.
I think that what they were trying to do there was just feign a fight. So I think that was a psychological ploy where they made it look like they were going for the fight. They turned on Sivir's ultimate and they made it look like Peanut might actually just pull the trigger. And maybe they were just doing that to induce some sort of a response in terms of spells from Longzhu, and then they could disengage and use that spell advantage or even summoner advantage to just capture the Elder Dragon.
Well, no response there to the bottom second tier turret being taken down. Now Expression is going to be in a 2v1. He doesn't know immediately about it. Peanut, did he show himself?
No, he didn't.
Hecarim has a long torso, so needs to be careful about poking it out of the bush. ROX in a great spot to get the catch here, at least a flank in there. Oh man, it's taken by Smeb. Okay, well Crash just gets bopped on. He's out of there. Cosmic Radiance coming in.
What you need.
Oh my god, Peanut in a great spot, just motoring forward. Frozen can't escape. It's another double for Kuro, possibly even a triple coming in here. Fury just gets run over. Peanut. Domination here as the Tigers take both Baron, Elder Dragon, a team fight win, and most likely this base turret and probably an inhibitor to follow.
They have no minions though except for in bot lane. You see the pings go down onto that. They are pinging it. I would have preferred to have seen Smeb go top lane to pick up that tower because you see a cluster of minions is still at it with even more coming. So they could have looked to maximize their gains a little bit more by taking the bottom inhibitor turret and have taken the top tier 2 turret. So a little bit of a dropped opportunity right there. It might not be the end though, as they look to push for the victory, and they could use a teleport to tank the tower and lock it up.
There's a Mega Gnar ult. It only really hits Kuro. Expression getting in there and not dying yet. He's still continuing to take damage, but ROX are forced to disengage with respawns coming in. Fury, Frozen, both back up along with Crash.
Right. And so it looks like they wanted to try to take it to an end, which I think is a little bit of a coin flip. There's probably going to be scenarios if they play this out 100 times or maybe 20 times, yes, they do end the game right there. But that seemed to be their choice. And so they take a Nexus turret. Yep. So you see this Middle East Spear goes down onto the Elder Dragon. Both junglers miss out to the Smite fight, and Rumble ends up picking it up. And then this is the scenario, these are the type of team fight positions that they want. Hecarim just able to get in on the entire team, hit multiple members at once, and then the rest of ROX just able to clean up.
Yeah, Pure did not have his pillar off cooldown to save his AD carry there from the Hecarim onslaught. It wasn't the onslaught of shadows, but man, look at that difference. 5,600 gold picked up in the advantage there for ROX Tigers over their
and that propels them into the lead. And now if you look at the gold score though at the very top, Longzhu technically not out of the game, even though, you know, the last few minutes that you've been watching, you might think like, okay, it looks like they're just getting, you know, mowed down and run over. But that's not actually the case. If they can take a properly positioned 5v5, Longzhu's going to have a lot of tools available that can still, you know, topple over ROX.
pretty sure Peanut's going for a Youmuu's Ghost Blade, or the smart item would be a Hex Drinker, but you could definitely go Youmuu's for that gotta go fast Hecarim build. That's what I want to see, but might not even get a chance to see it if the game just ends right here. Longzhu trying to hold their mid, but Kuro's taking down both outer turrets on the side, on both sides really, so not
yeah, definitely applying a lot of pressure. Baron up in a minute though, so they just want to make sure that they can control all of the vision around Longzhu's blue side jungle. If they can do that, it's really hard for Longzhu to find a proper angle to approach Baron from.
Hard for ROX to find, rather, a proper angle to push inside the base here, although Kuro, if left undealt with, will be in danger.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what to say about the base defense. It looks super solid from Longzhu, but they've already lost that inhibitor on the bottom, which is kind of the best inhibitor to have or to take down if you're a team who's looking for Baron, because it is farthest away. You have to dedicate somebody to take it to deal with it. Otherwise, you just keep losing more and more on these objectives. Some slows on to Smeb. Frozen Mallet going in there doing work, but Inspection is not a one-man wrecking crew. That's why.
Yep, definitely not. Teleport coming in from Kuro. I don't think that that's really necessary. I think that they could have conserved that teleport, and the reason that I would have liked to have seen them conserve that is because that means that they open up an option where if Expression teleports into Baron, they can teleport Kuro bot lane and threaten Nexus turret.
Well, he comes in and he just deletes the anti-carry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that works
The Death Cap purchase, you can probably see it relatively evident there. That's that insta-delete.
Oh, and that's gonna spell the very end.
It certainly is. Expression getting chained up there. Nice Meganar to stay alive for a little bit longer. He's gonna get revive thanks to that Guardian Angel. But you can't revive the Nexus. Yeah, just going in there, padding the stat line. Kuro needs another one. And speaking of another one, the ROX will take another win here over Longzhu. Longzhu currently winless against ROX Tigers all time, so need to put one on the board. Game 2's a little bit of a struggle for them, and they'll have to turn around. They'll have to twist their fates, if you will, in Game 2 coming up. They want to continue their win streak.
Yeah, Smeb almost managed to anti-carry his team with a lot there, but Kuro with a super MVP performance.
Right, and to be fair, a lot of Smeb's deaths enabled his team to take other objectives.
Yeah.
So sometimes he was like the guy that had to take one for the team on the bottom half of the map so that the rest of his team could go for objectives elsewhere. Either way, the ROX Tigers, no matter how the KDAs sort out, work incredibly as a team. Everyone does their job. Perfect save potential from just about everyone, and you can't even say bad things about the Tigers since they had great performances from Crash. Even Frozen looked great coming back to the roster after a little bit of a hiatus, but still some issues to work on for Longzhu.
So we'll see what Longzhu can do for game number 2, because I don't think that ROX is going to let them get away with as many advantages as they were able to come up with this game. So we'll see what they have in store in terms of pick bans in game number 2.
Tell your friends, game 2 is coming up. We're going to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 is up next.
차 살 때는 꼼꼼하게 따지시죠? 자동차 보험이야말로 서비스를 꼼꼼히 따져야죠. 동부화재 다이렉트. 든든한 서비스가 24시간 365일. 차보다 사람이 먼저니까. 접속하라! 동부화재 다이렉트.
나는 오늘 내 아이에게 남자를 선물했다.
코란도 스포츠가 아니면 경험할 수 없는 세상. 더 뉴 코란도 스포츠 2.2 탄생.
New experience, Corando Sports.
자꾸 먹고 싶어.
맛있어 죽게 만들 셈이야! 하바네로와 청양고추가 더해진 매운맛의 몬스터 BHC 맵스터.
매운맛 좀 보시지 말입니다.
구글 애플마켓 1위 대세 게임을 만나라. 신개념 공룡포획 RPG 스톤 에이지 지금 다운받으세요.
다 씻어내고 싶다. 남김없이.
미끌미끌 이건 뭐가 이렇게 안 씻겨?
다 씻어내고 싶은 남자들을 위하여 단숨에 피지 채취 미끌거림까지. 이것이 남자의 샤워 우로스 스킨워시.
커브, 빠른 볼, 체인저 어떤 볼이 하도 팍 차버렸지.
누가요?
내가 레전드 야구존에서.
다양한 구질로 더 짜릿한 승부. 스크린 야구의 레전드 야구전.
잘 봐, 네 안에 뜨겁게 불타는 열정. 볼케이노 핫하지, 뮤직이네 핫하지. 국내 볼케이노. 전쟁과 함께 국내 볼케이노.
액션만 남았다. 모든 건 변했다. 히트 시즌 2.
네 안에 뜨겁게 불타는 열정. 볼케이노 핫하지, 뮤직이네 핫하지. 국내 볼케이노. 전쟁과 함께 국내 볼케이노.
액션만 남았다. 모든 건 변했다. 히트 시즌 2.
Go with air.
I got bills, I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work.
당신의 가슴을 날아오르게 할 티볼리 에어 탄생. Tivoli Air.
차 살 때는 꼼꼼하게 따지시죠? 자동차 보험이야말로 서비스를 꼼꼼히 따져야죠. 동부화재 다이렉트. 든든한 서비스가 24시간 365일. 차보다 사람이 먼저니까. 접속하라! 동부화재 다이렉트.
구글 애플마켓 1위 대색 게임을 만나라. 신개념 공룡포획 RPG 스톤 에이지 지금 다운받으세요.
맛있어 죽게 만든 셈이야! 하바네로와 청양고추가 더해진 매운맛의 몬스터 BHC 맵스터.
매운맛 좀 보시지 말입니다.
1%의 커피콩을 키워준 농부들과 바리스타 룰스를 나눕니다. 룰을 지켜 좋은 커피의 길을 간다. 바리스타 룰스.
커브, 바른볼, 체인저 어떤 볼이 하다 팍 차버렸지.
누가요?
내가 레전드 야구존에서.
다양한 구질로 더 짜릿한 승부. 스크린 야구의 레전드 야구전.
너무 예뻐. 큐브타이가 놀아야지. 티모, 너도 간다고? 일어나.
어디 가시려고요?
오늘 속초 특집을 하면서요. 속초 안 간다요? 오늘 안 가요? 언니, 알리스타 이거 내가 잡아온다고 지금 가서. 안 해. 알리스타를 잡기 위해서 제가 직접 속초로 떠날 예정이었는데 일단 알리스타가 어떤 챔프인지 제가 확실하게 알아야 한 번에 잡을 수 있겠죠? 지난주 삼성과 진해와의 경기를 보면서 알리스타에 대해 집중 탐구해보도록 하겠습니다. 알리스타가 한타에서 유니시를 걸 수 있는 챔프인 나르를 벽 뒤로 밀어내면서 상대방이 유니시를 막는 모습인데요. 이렇게 유니시를 한 차례 막아주게 되면 상대방은 다시 유니시를 걸 적절한 타이밍을 찾아야 하기 때문에 자신이 원하는 때에 싸움을 걸지 못하게 됩니다. 알리스타는 WQ로 이어지는 콤보를 많이 사용하는데요. 이 콤보를 잘만 사용한다면 말파이트의 궁극기와 같은 효과를 낼 수 있습니다. 알리스타의 궁극기는 걸려있는 CC기를 풀기 때문에 위험한 상황에 처했을 때는 정화처럼 사용하는 것이 가능합니다. 그럼 알리스타에 대해 조금 더 자세히 살펴보도록 하겠습니다. 잠시만요. 레이스! 너로 정했다! 야! 어머, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
본인이 생각하기에도 본인이 잘생겼다고 생각하십니까?
아니요.
전멸과 WQ 콤보로 이렇게 만들어지는 게 굉장히 많잖아요. 본인이 가장 많이 사용하는 콤보는
전멸 WQ인 것 같아요. 거리를 좁히면서 싸움을 걸기 가장 쉽거든요. 다음으로는 W 플래시인 것 같아요. W로 챔피언이나 미니언을 사고 Q 플래시로 들어가는 거거든요. 그렇게 하면은 조금 더 상대가 반응하기 힘들고 Q를 정확하게 사용할 수 있어요.
궁극기 쓰는 타이밍, 가장 좋은 타이밍이 언제인지 저 좀 알려주세요.
알리스타가 스턴이나 슬로우 속박에 걸렸을 때 아니면 상대한테 그냥 데미지가 많이 들어올 때 그렇게 크게 두 가지 경우에 사용하면 좋죠.
그러면 라인전과 한타 상황에서의 알리스타의 운영법은 어떻게 될까요?
라인전과 한타 뭐 둘 다 비슷한데요. 앞에서 맞아주고 아군이 편하게 딜을 할 수 있게 싸움을 걸어주는 역할이죠. 라인전 같은 경우는 기회주의자처럼 하는 게 중요해요. 일반하면서 버티다가 상대 스킬이 빠졌을 때 정글러가 왔을 때 그런 식으로 라인전을 풀어가거든요.
그러면
네.
제가 알리스타를 상대할 때 주의할 점이 있다면
알리스타 스킬이 워낙 피하기 힘들기 때문에 아예 거리를 벌려야 돼요, 알리스타랑.
그냥 걸리면 끝이란 얘기네요?
그렇죠.
그러면 마지막으로 레이스 선수만의 알리스타 팁 있으면 조금만 전수해 주실 수 있을까요?
W랑 Q가 좋은 스킬이기 때문에 뭐 하나하나 침착하게 사용하셔도 더 좋을 때가 많죠.
감사합니다. 레이스 선수도 화이팅!
파이팅!
끝! 이제 갈 수 있는 거죠? 언니 빨리 가자! 그럼 전 이만 알리스타를 잡으러 떠나보겠습니다. 난 알리스타 마스터가 될 거야! 안녕!
know. If we could break through the ceiling above us, there'd be no point of us looking below. We could be free. We could be free. Finally, we could be free. I've been through the darkest of caves and suffered on the steps of the end of the road. Painted with passion, my favorite color. Open the life when the story gets old. We could be free. We could be free. Finally, we could be free. I ain't at home. Home's where I'm going. I close my eyes to see. I'll take my throne, lay it on a mountain, and make myself a king. Kick through the shackles, walk through the chains. So there's no one to blame but you. I said, make myself a king.
Watching the crystals turn to ice, mercury slowly falling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Coca-Cola Zero League of Legends Champions Korea Summer 2016 to a bleak future for the Team Longzhu. You can see some brief successes, like here from Crash picking up that kill. Also top lanes, brief failures from Fury.
Fury flashing into that.
stun. Peanut this game, super great. Had a little bit of a rough start, but definitely helped with ROX bringing it back there.
Yep. Kuro almost went down there, and that actually would have changed a lot for how the game could have potentially played out at that stage.
Because after that, you saw plays like
Yeah.
that happen over and over again.
And here's a highlight of Smeb being the anti-carry for ROX this game.
A highlight of Expression getting off the single Gnar ult that I think he might have landed 2 this game, but he definitely had some struggles.
Here's the salvage by Kuro. This won them the game.
I want to give salvage to Gorilla. Like, look at this bulwark right there. So clutch by everyone on the team.
And here is where this was basically lights out, where ROX gets the Elder Drake and then they secure everything. And just look at that deletion.
LeBlanc gets Thunderlords off only 2 spells, and it's good enough for an MVP. No more MVP points for you, Smeb. It's all about that 9-2-6, 75 kill participation.
That's pretty interesting, by the way. The average LCK 3-2, 4.6 in terms of stats.
It's a little above average. Kuro definitely getting up there in the MVP points, although still a long way away from Smeb, who currently leads at, I believe, 900.
Well, certainly not last game. That should actually lose him 100 points. But
you lose MVP points. You're the anti-MVP.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, there he is. He's getting the MVP points, and he will be staying in for game number 2.
Yeah, no substitutions from either team. And from Longzhu, they're a team with an absolutely gigantic roster. I think they have 8 players on the team. But when it comes to subbing players out, that's not something that always happens. Now, for the ROX Tigers, they actually sub in Cry for Kuro fairly frequently. I was trying to say 2 things at once there. But getting into game number 2, no substitutions for either the Tigers or Longzhu. We get into ROX now on the blue side with first ban. Last time we saw Tom Kench as the first ban for Longzhu. We'll see if they keep that this time around.
No, they do keep it again. And this time, ROX is first pick, so it does make actually a little bit more sense to ban it. Alistar now being banned by ROX Tigers, in addition to the Rek'Sai. So they might look to just keep Nidalee open, forcing Longzhu to ban it, because that might not be a matchup that Crash wants to go into, especially if you see the final ban being Gragas. The Tara gets banned and the Nidalee gets banned. So these are very suspected bans. I would have been very surprised if they banned the LeBlanc, just because LeBlanc wasn't necessarily why they lost the game, even though Kuro is why they won it.
Very low percentage bans here, which tells you that they're target bans, not necessarily just the meta bans. So you can't just go straight off of statistics when you're doing your analysis. Holy cow, Kuro is a boss. That is super good. I need one of those. That's how you know you've arrived Kuro also getting a little bit of a chibi drawn for him there.
I'm curious if that Choco Hover is real.
They keep doing it, but I mean, Crash knows how to crush the jungle.
Okay.
But I don't think he knows how to do it that hard.
Choco's a champion that I still think is hidden potential. I think people haven't given him enough credit.
You know what other champion has hidden potential? What? Literally every other champion compared to Shaco. So I don't know. We'll see whether or not. Man, Kuro's getting tons of love.
Yeah, he's getting a lot.
That is, I think that's Smeb. Okay, so sorry about that. I was like, wait a second, that hair, the devilishing good looks, the high MVP points, it has to be Smeb, and it is. But some interesting hovers here for possibly the top lane potential on ROX. They're going to have maybe Gangplank, but the big interesting thing for me is that Shen, I think, was the third most picked top laner as far as high priority goes last week, and now it's not even being picked or banned. So
yeah.
A little bit interesting since it's been such a big pick to come out.
Yeah, and Gangplank is a very nice answer to both Shen and Gnar, primarily because it just enables you to basically keep up with Gnar. You can out-farm Gnar, and then in the later stages of the game, you heavily outscale Gnar with the Gangplank. The Ashe being picked in, Bard is still open, so we might actually see a Ashe-Bard Gangplank combo, and that's something that we've seen before in LCK. And so they are still conserving the jungler in the mid pick. So Longzhu, when they're forced to draft the remaining components of their team comp, they definitely want to conserve that mid lane counter pick. And yeah, just get the jungler and the support out of the way, save that mid lane. This is not patch 6.14, so the counter pick potential for support's still not really there yet, although we have seen it happen sometimes. And it looks like Kuro coming out with that mid lane control mage inside of the Victor, who is one of his most played champions.
Now this is where Frozen brings out the Talia. I really want to see that champion picked more. It seems like there was like 2 weeks of hype for her internationally, and then she just stopped being played. Yep. And granted, we are starting things off here with a brand new week of champions, but maybe it's time for Frozen to say anything you can do, I can do better. Might be locking that in. You can see some hand-holding in the booth, just making sure that everybody's on the same page,
yep,
and he is.
Seems like that will be the pick of choice. So, about to have a mirror match, or a reverse mirror.
You'd think for a guy like named Frozen, he'd be pretty good at letting things go, but he's not going to be able to let that first game go. He's going to get some revenge here in game number 2 with the exact opposite matchup. Prey on his trademark Ashe, though. I don't know, that's pretty scary. Peanut gets one of the last, top-tier carry jungle picks left up. Crash is left on Graves, so we'll see what he can do with that. Expression sticking on that Gnar. I'm not sure we've seen some missed Gnar ultimates from him, but of course Smeb, even if he does have continue to struggle this game, he's Gangplank, so he just farms back into it.
And now ROX Tigers are actually the one with the scaling comp.
Aha!
So now they are in position to be the ones that have to scale up. And Longzhu has some scaling champions, but they are a little tunneled into that mid-game centric play style with their team comp. They will definitely benefit a lot more. The problem is, though, is they are red side, so it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to penetrate into River when they're trying to approach on Baron or Dragon against Gangplank.
Lots to talk about as we get into our second game, possibly our last game of the night. So get out there, show your love for either the ROX Tigers, hashtag ROXWin, or hashtag LZWin, to let us know who you think is going to come out on top here in game number 2. Longzhu is going to need a lot of help to deal with a very high scaling and very skillful team fighting comp here for the ROX Tigers. We're going to get into game number 2. 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure there's plaster falling from the ceiling at this point. Absolutely mental here. A packed out stadium here at the Nexon Arena. absolutely incredible. And we come into a game number 2 that actually went pretty incredibly for the ROX Tigers. Now, they did falter maybe a little bit early on. Turns out Crash actually just a monster. But the rest of Longzhu really need to play to play together. So we need to figure out how to make that happen. So do they. So what are your thoughts on Longzhu's team comp? What are they really trying to do here?
Well, they need Crash to get pretty big in this matchup. Frozen is going to be a pretty big aspect for them, given that it's going to be very unlikely that ROX actually builds a lot of MR unless Frozen gets really big. And that's primarily because the amount of AD damage coming out from Longzhu's team composition is enormous.
And there you go, that AD damage again, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's super high damage. There's like damage squared, man.
Physical damage. I guess I should have said physical, yeah.
There we go.
At least it's not ADD, aka AID.
Oh
I can't wait
God.
until...
It's going to be so much fun. I hope we get to cast that game. It's going to be great. All right, well, speaking of greatness, mid lane here, Kuro with those MVP points under his belt. Decent trade there, able to get the full shield block on that power transfer. So nice way to win yourself the early game.
You know, interestingly enough, Frozen and Kuro started off last time with that, but Frozen did not get the animation cancel off. So he missed out on the second auto. That's how the last laning phase started. So now Kuro won the auto attack. I think he's going to win the game.
Oh, man. Well, that's how it goes, man. Well, I think betting on Kuro to win games is probably pretty safe at this point. They have 3 losses so far this season, so I think that's a fairly high win ratio. They're actually 2-1 on game wins as well, and are now exactly doubling up Longzhu's wins.
Yep.
A little bit of a rough time to be alive for Longzhu. Although this time it's a brand new game, so we get to see, well, I think every time we start a game, it's a brand new game. But so Cloud Drake to start things off, standard lanes as well, and wow, lots of damage being put out there by Smeb, who's at least gonna, okay, no. Hop away. Hop away.
Well,
Peanut top lane.
Oh, Peanut.
Super sneaky.
No, well, those minions actually won't see him. Yeah, they will not see him if he hugs the very top. Oh, okay.
I don't think he was
No, he
seen.
did not see him. So
that cannon minion was about to scout things out.
Yeah. And they just might, okay, they're waiting, I think, for Expression to go into Mininar.
And then they're going to shove the wave.
Out. I think he's sniffing this out.
So they're Longzhu Kings on.
This might look, yep.
Okay, here comes Peanut, barrel behind. Gonna try to maybe get barrel damage, but it's not actually gonna be enough. Smeb, whoa. Flashing back under, and Expression walk back into a cocoon, but Smeb's taking too much damage. Frozen going to assist in the Peanut kill as well.
Why?
Crash is carry jungler, one of those double buffs, and he's putting them to use.
No, that's just wrong.
So you should have handed it over to Frozen, right?
Should have given double buffs over to Frozen, because Frozen, full HP, doesn't want to leave lane yet. Doesn't make any sense.
So, nice
ROX,
jump there by Expression.
Yeah, there's nothing to say about this. ROX really botched the mechanics of this gank. And Longzhu, with super quick response, knowing how to punish it. Crash was basically there to make sure that, you know, the Tigers could not escape from that. And so, game number 2, off to a huge lead for Longzhu.
If you remember the last time we got a chance to see SK Telecom play, it was Duke on the gang playing top lane who got absolutely abused. Like, no coming back from that. He actually just got put in the ground.
Just imagine if he had double buffs.
Okay, all right, that sounds pretty good. Well, Peanut is here and was not scouted out by that hawk shot because it's on his own team. Look at the cocoons, they're too good. The flashback away, stealth is nice there, but will it be nice enough? Oh, the power transfer off the flash. Kuro making it look easy. Now, Crash coming in from behind here, he might be able to get a cheeky kill on the Kuro, but don't want to risk it, especially if you have to like flash under the turret.
They're going to call Peanut over because Kuro is relatively low on HP. You don't want Crash to show up because you know that he has flash. So Kuro would not be able to escape. So they're going to shove out the wave, and they're almost back in the game. They're only down 700 gold. And Gangplank, because of his, you know, the passives on his Q ability, Parley, he's able to actually generate a lot more gold for his team. And so it's the gold collection is not just going to be met in terms of CS numbers or towers taken.
You're seeing the bunny hop strats there from the Tigers.
Yep.
They lose to SKT, win, and then they lose to SKT, and then they win. So they're Kind of interesting there, arch nemesis there. Like, what does it say about your team when you play in a league where you can beat everybody else except the team it takes to win?
I think that means that you are NC Yellow from back in the day against Slayer's Boxer.
Wasn't, I thought it was like Fantasy who is like the Silver Terran.
Well, Fantasy and StarCraft lost almost always to Flash, except in the later stages he actually beat Flash.
Okay, well, neither here nor there. Lots of second place players and teams out there who have been super great, and the ROX Tigers are no exception. However, with strong performances like this, they can definitely make their way back up to the finals. They are in first place right now, so putting themselves in a pretty good spot coming into the end of the regular season, which is coming up in 2 weeks. We're in week 9. Okay, Expression going in. There's the Gangplank ult, trying to trade. That's going back. Oh, Expression. You know, at this point, that's kind of becoming a meme. He's like missed that like so many times in a row.
Yeah. Almost like, he's like the Korea version of the X-Smithy.
But with the melee range ult.
With the melee range ultimate. So also, one of the interesting things about the Gangplank ultimate is it actually dissuades Gnar from being able to stick around for his full combo. Because it almost means that Gnar will always at least eat 3 Gangplank shots.
Yep, and you can throw it out like disjointed even when you're CC. So miss on the chain means Frozen's actually going to take a lot of damage. Kuro capitalizing, gravity field out there for the slow. The second Chaos Storm Frog. I'm not sure if it got off there, but either way, Expression. How hard did you? Whoa, Smeb! I don't know about that play, but it looks like Peanut's going to be able to clean this up into another kill. Okay, that's domination. That's where Miley Cyrus comes in and has a lot in common with Expression when she sings "All You Ever Did Was Wreck Me," because that's kind of what's happening in the top lane right now. This is domination. Crash in a good spot, and you can see Expression baits that perfectly.
Now, it would be one thing if they thought Smeb had Flash, and maybe you can justify that play by Crash just now. But honestly, it looked like he was trying to outdo Expression and be like, you want to see an X-Smithy? Let me show you one.
Oh my god, so painful. The struggle truly coming out.
They started off really hot, but it looks like the Tigers are now back in the lead, and huge CS lead, by the way, in bot lane. I want to see Prey pick up a call, given that advantage. Just add a little bit more salt to the wound. When you're ahead, get more ahead. And he doesn't do it, so really disappointed.
It's a good strategy. Do you come up with that one yourself?
No, I.
Either way, it's okay. It's 11 CS lead. That's decent. And when it comes to the rest of the CS, actually Frozen going in. It actually does hit the chain. He's actually doing a lot of things. I gotta take that one out of my vocabulary. But when you look at the gold count, it's identical. Yep. So nice to see still hope left in the Longzhu squad. Some damage coming back in. Nice bait into the barrel in the bush barrel.
Can he chase this down? I don't know how long his passive is up. Maybe he had lethal right there on Expected.
Frozen was actually going in even in a 1v2. Has Crash coming down, but he was spotted out by the Scuttle Crab. And so Peanut will be in the right place at the right time.
Now these games have both been really explosive and even in the gold amounts early on and even heading into the mid game. So this is very interesting. But again, ROX now, however, is the one with the scaling team comp, and they're the ones that are going to benefit from being closer in gold or even slightly behind. The fact that they're ahead is really problematic for Longzhu. And so now, as we begin to head into the 15-minute mark, Longzhu's going to need to make something happen. I don't know why they keep devoting so many resources to top lane. Oh, they're trying to bait Smeb out, but I think Expression actually taking the trades in a way that would dissuade Smeb from overextending.
Well, and Smeb, he's been through the school of hard knocks already this game, getting taken out early on. He just does not want that to happen again. No call on the Gangplank either, so that's a little bit interesting, because you do usually see that picked up early on, especially if you do want to stack it up in the top lane, just keep that farm game going. But either way, it's a recall for Expression, who is still struggling up there. See how long that lasts as he does build his way into an armlet and continue this way back up to the top lane. So, you know, the game not over by any means. It's not even snowballed in any particular lane, but you mentioned ROX with the scaling composition haven't really been pressured at any turn, and you look down at the bottom lane, now that's a pretty big lead.
Yeah. And the CS differential in bot lane just continuing to get more and more enormous, and that's without any jungler influence. So, you know, if Forgiven was here playing this lane, he would probably be very thrilled to just have a straight up 2v2. But ROX the ones just coming out massively. And again, it's also bizarre given how many mistakes that they've made in the top lane, even after the huge leads that they got in top lane.
Oh, Crash, yeah. Okay. So you hit your ult on minions to get the gold, but you don't hit your ult on I don't know, man. It's questionable strats right there. Does get him 66 gold in the Raptor kill, but I don't know. It's going to take more than just stealing Raptors to turn your team's fate around in this game.
Yep. Graves' ultimate cooldown is not that long,
big
though.
burst. You're going to see Kuro running all up on Frozen, trying to micro away. Does get the flash. There's the gangplank ult for the zone.
Might still make it out.
Does dash over
yeah,
the wall.
They will. Oh, well.
Oh my god. Frozen. Why are you so... Oh my god, that almost killed it.
Yeah, and Peanut doesn't have flash, so...
Oh my god, the Ash Arrow! Where's the Ezreal ult? There's a Karthus somewhere. No, Frozen gets out, so does Crash. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Man, ROX Tigers headed to the emergency room for all their broken ankles at that point. Absolutely insane.
Oh, well, hold that thought, because in bottom lane, the action is not done yet. I thought a trade was about to commence.
I mean, it kind of happened. There's not a whole lot you can do. It's the Ash turns on volley, or it throws out the volley, and you're like, well, I'm going to take this damage, and Unbreakable was good, so pure on the defense.
And so now probably the game will reset for a little bit, unless Peanut is looking to make something happen up in top lane. And speaking of top lane, here it is. So it doesn't look like such a great position right now for Smeb, or for Expression against Smeb. The lane is in Smeb's favor.
And the lane be all ever in your favor.
Also, Expression doesn't go for any barrel denies against Smeb, which is a little bit interesting.
Well, that's just mean, man.
Well,
Ella's the type of guy that kills your barrels. Nobody wants to hang out with you. Just kidding.
Okay.
Expression does get the Mega Nar. He's trying to turn it around. He's got the Peanut help, and Expression might drop here. Smeb very low, but it's Peanut to pick up the kill.
And Crash, pull off a Crash ultimate.
Uh-oh,
which one?
Oh my god, he misses it again.
Oh man, he was like Mario when you enter Toad's house in like Super Mario World. You gotta like pick a chest.
Well, the other way to think about it is he's like Mario at the end. This princess not in the castle. He shot the
So
ult.
you take a look at this, and you know what? Credit to Expression, because he almost did turn this. Smeb getting out by the skin of his teeth, and as you can see, the 3 chests right there. 2 of them contain something, 1 of them contains nothing.
Well, I think he actually shot it at the right one.
He tried to choose both, okay, and the game just glitched out.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Now mid lane
Toad
damage
kicked him out of the house.
Get out of here. Nice gangplank ult in the mid lane. Almost letting Crash up for Peanut's Cocoon. He'll flash away, stay safe for now. I was waiting for the Ash Arrow to come in from Prey, but he's going to hold on to that one for now.
Triforce completed for Smeb. I think it would still actually be acceptable for Prey and Smeb to both pick up a call, even though, you know, you might think of it like, okay, this is too late in the game to pick this up. I don't think so, because they have such dominance right now, and they can know that this game is not going to end in the next 5 minutes. There's no reason to just get that extra gold.
Well, the game was even identically in gold earlier on. Now about 1,000 gold lead, and there is the blue buff handed off to Frozen. Really nice dodge. Trying to defend this Tribush. 2-on-2. Gonna stay that way for now. Crash starting to move down towards this Cloud Drake. We really haven't seen any focus towards objectives at all this game. All turrets, all dragons, they're all still up. We've just seen a nice, calm, cool, quiet, collected lane phase.
I'm actually really curious how the gold score is as close as it is, because that's a little bit bizarre when you factor in the kill counts and the assists, and also the CS differential in bottom lane is negated by that of mid.
Crash is up 30 CS. So.
Crash is, he is up 30 CS, but you would think that Gangplank's extra gold would even that out. It's actually a little bit awkward for me to look at right now because I can't make...
Did they turn the handicap on for this series?
I don't know.
Longzhu just get extra gold?
This is just really bizarre to actually witness right now.
Where does that come from? Because like, there's only one...
Gangplank's extra gold is enormous, like at this point, as he approaches the 150 CS mark.
Yeah, he's probably got, what, like 800 bonus gold?
Probably 600.
Okay.
Or so right now. So
something along those lines. Oh, nice chain frozen. Turns out you deal 0 damage. Sorry about that. Better luck next time. Here comes Crash for the infamous pressure gang, where you're actually just running away from the enemy jungler, but you make it look like you're trying to help the mid lane. See what you're up to. Crash.
Gold scores are very even. Again, like it's only a 1,000 differential at 16 minutes.
Just walks up and busts Frozen. He's out of this fight for sure. Crash comes over the wall, and he's not going to go back over the other way. Does ult backwards, but Frozen, he goes in, and oh, he actually does stay alive.
Yep.
Oh, the Spiderling almost kills him off there, but wait, what? How did Sveb die?
Well, Expression
wins like the narrow 1v1. Oh, there's the Ash Arrow. And boom goes the Dynamite. Pure actually going to get subjugated. He flashes out, walks back in, and Fury's going to ult into the fight. But wait, what? Okay. I thought that was actually Pure there for a second, but no, it was the tower.
Peanut does manage to pick up the tower. Now
I want to see that top lane. Oh, here we go. We get the replay 1v1 up in the top lane. Gets the Mega Gnar, the chain damage, but I think there's just a crit there at the last second, and just barely
pretty
survives.
reminiscent of Aid versus Duke in the MVP versus SKT series, where he just had a field day on Duke's game.
He actually just walked over him over and over, and then Duke won the game. So
and then Duke won.
That's kind of how it works out. Now, Pure, not the greatest matchup 1v1.
It's okay though because there's no contention, so the ATP is virtually irrelevant.
That's how you can tell it's not spring, because then there would be pollen in the air and there'd be lots of congestion for everyone.
Oh,
congestion, my bad. Now we're, you're gonna see a fairly easy to take down Cloud Drake. Crash on top of at least that objective, but needs to maybe work on his ult aims. I mean, it's a shotgun, right? It's not that difficult to aim. Oh, Cocoon right through the minions. Swing Bata, not going to be able to hit Expression this time. He's back off of his turret for now, calling for a little bit of help, but instead he's going to get the enemy mid laner instead of his own.
Now looks like Kuro is actually running up, so looks like they wanted to make a play against Expression, but they're just going to get the tower instead, and Expression's not going to have anything to say about this. Even if they bring up Crash and Frozen, it doesn't do anything. The correct answer is to actually have Crash just sit in mid lane and push the wave as fast as possible with Frozen, but ROX, or the Tigers, knowing that all too well, did move up Gorilla in the event that would happen, so he could have stopped the minion wave from being pushed too much.
And now Frozen gets some sweet alone time with his mid turret.
Yeah, but that's going to be shut down right now as Kuro re-arrives and even picks up almost the entire wave. I guess he picked up about 80% of that wave. Only
Re-arrives. I feel like there's a better way to... Returns.
Returns,
There we go.
There we go.
I was like, surely that can't be the way to say it. But here comes the Baron spawning in about 40 seconds. I don't think we're going to see any 20 minutes. No team with a clear advantage. But, I mean, Tigers are on top, and they have that scaling comp like you were talking about. And Smeb's in a decent spot, even though he just got 1v1'd. But...
yeah, he's still fine.
I don't know if there's a whole lot to say here. Can't actually deal all that much damage to Expression, though, thanks to those buffed up Ninja Tabby.
I don't know if that animation
I believe it is seen.
It was.
It's like when jungle camps get stolen. You can always see where the projectile goes to.
Right. So that's a little bit unfortunate that that gave Peanut away, because that maybe could have turned into a kill against Expression, given that he doesn't have Flash.
What particle was that?
Strength of Ages.
Okay, so yeah, when it does die in lane.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, he didn't actually hit that. It's not Grasp of the Undying. It's actually, yeah, just the Strength of Ages. Pops out of the cannon minion and into your body. Science.
Yeah, it is science. Kind of like Yasuo.
No, Yasuo is for...
Lost streaks?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yasuo...
Well, this is a lot of pink
seen better
words.
days.
Kuro
There is
actually so much pink right here. This is like Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
This is true. You can celebrate that in Summoner's Rift by playing all.
It was actually just some donation thing, I think.
Well, back when I believe there was a big tsunami, all of the sales from, it was like there were two medics, like Surgeon Shen and Nurse Akali. or at least Nurse Akali. I think it was Surgeon Chen too.
But yeah.
I know at least Nurse Akali, they gave proceeds from the sales of those skins. So that was also awfully nice. Bottom lane, Longzhu will be able to secure that, but Frozen walking right into a cocoon. He's going to flash out.
Misread. Okay, but the Gangplank ult. But Frozen has that blue buff. Oh, and still not enough CDR to get the distortion back up.
Wow, and he's going to get that blue buff back away. That's 2 blue buffs now on the ROX Tigers, and Frozen just walking out of the mid lane and into a cocoon, giving up his life.
And now Kuro poking Crash a little bit, and they have successfully won position around this mid-tier 2 turret, especially no ultimate. They are in no position to contest this. Oh my god!
Look at how much damage that Victor does. Kuro, so good! So good. That's a kill on Fury, maybe more. ROX Tigers push up the mid lane. They can actually disengage and maybe go for Baron at this point. I don't know. Frozen's up in 3, so probably just take the win.
Yeah, they're just going to definitely take the win.
Kuro.
You don't want to do any Baron throw plays.
No
but
concept of how much damage this is.
They
Look
just
at that.
both grouped up for the Chaos Storm and the barrel from Smeb, and the damage is just enormous. And they even got some summoners out of Longzhu there, so really huge win for the Tigers.
That is tasty. You can take that play and like slice it up on a plate, and that's your dinner right there. Crash trying to get away here from Peanut. Peanut with a perfect cocoon does land the additional damage. Proto Belt forward. Frozen is there. He's gonna bounce in. That's a lot of damage. Peanut, a little bit of a rough spot expansion. You don't want any part of that, but it is going to be a Crash going down. Peanut somehow still alive. Oh my God! Frozen turns it around, and it will pick up a kill onto Smeb.
Talk about LeBlanc's turning stuff around. That has been the theme of tonight.
It certainly is. Not quite the Kuro. You got to get 2 or 3 kills in order to make that happen. But still Frozen, putting in work. He's got the most kills on his team, and he at least is attempting to carry his team here.
And Prey now, just continuing to farm up bottom lane as Kuro and Gorilla rotate to shove Fury off the tower so they can capitalize on that. Next Dragon is in a minute. And with Smeb having teleport up and Peanut recalling, they might even just try to posture in bot lane.
ROX doing such a great job of capitalizing on things. They have more capitalization than an argument on the internet right now.
Oh man.
And that's a lot.
And so right now, yeah, okay, I like the pings that are going down right now. So what Peanut wants to do is rotate his way down to bottom lane. And what they want to do is stall and siege the bottom tier 2
Immediate
turret.
flash from Crash. She is able to escape the arrow, but that's still a totally worthwhile trade for Prey.
Yep.
They set up for this Dragon in 20 seconds.
Dragon, yeah, as you mentioned, 20 seconds on that Dragon. I think these recalls are fake. I can't actually see them fully recalling unless there's an item completion.
Let's take a look at this 1v1 again. I'm not sure if this is necessarily...
Well, it's not the worst. Crash, you know, almost dying there, but fortunately the active saves him. But then Smeb cleans it up, and then he extends a little too far, doesn't really respect Frozen's damage on LeBlanc, and so he just gets lit up in the end.
Crash walked back into the fight too, so when you have 2 HP, probably discretion the better part of Valor. But now we've got a roam to the top lane, Frozen again.
Yeah.
The snipe onto Smeb.
And Smeb has been the weak point in this series. In this game, he has half of, he has 80% of Longzhu's kills. Or, well, the deaths given over to Longzhu anyway. And it looks like the Tiger is going to be able to pick up the Water Dragon, which it's not that effective. We're already at 25 minutes, and it's only a tier 1 Water Dragon, so the passive from it not going to be too good. So as long as Frozen can continue to light people up and make people get lit up, it'll be pretty good. And speaking of lit up, Suits returned.
New episode, super good.
Yeah, Lewis lit.
Have not watched that yet, so no spoilerinos.
It's really, really good.
Take your word for it. If you told me the ROX Tigers were good, I would probably take your word on that after just watching this game. Such incredible damage from Kuro. Some great plays by everyone except Smeb. Just taking the night off a little bit.
Well, even though he is dying a lot, he's also had some really nice barrels. So I will give him
that is true. And this kind of, hashtag things Gangplank does. You die repeatedly over and over again, and then the enemy team realizes you still have tons of gold and your barrel still hurt.
So it's like Karthus.
Really bad. Frozen going
I think Frozen wanted to be unfrozen. I think that's what was
Oh,
happening
man.
right there. He's like, you know what? I'm actually, I'm tired.
Definitely let go of that one. He just like takes his hands off the keyboard. He's like, I'm going in. And he does not wind up coming back out again. Turns out, even if you stealth, Chaos Storm, pretty indiscriminate, still take you out. And nice to see the Tigers still in a good spot as they push up the bottom lane. Feels weird to say pushing up the bottom lane, but that's what they're doing. They will take down a second tier turret, the 5th one of the game. Does fall. Now Smeb setting up for some damage. Crash down to half HP off of a single combo.
And Crash now just farming up his jungle a little bit more. And now it looks like they're moving over to perhaps try to snipe Smeb and maybe translate this into a Baron, but Smeb gotta go fast.
There's a reason the song is not Frozen, Take the Wheel. You're not going to good places there. Frozen again, though, I take it back. He's got the good stuff. He's able to pick up another kill. Blue buff successfully stolen away by Crash, and everyone else has ways to jump over the wall. But a perfect flank opportunity from Kuro as he comes right up the river. Gravity Field to disengage, and in the meantime, Fury on the mid turret. So not the worst of trades. Frozen gets a kill, trades 1-for-1 essentially, and a turret in the mid lane as well. But now ROX missing the Longzhu mid laner, who does have all of their kills, or most of them rather. Trying to go for this Baron. Nice knockups and Expression coming in. He will not have a Mega Gnar at all. He is actually going to go down. It's a double kill so far for Fury though. In the backline, can Longzhu turn this back around? Peanut going forward. It's a triple kill. The stun comes out, and it's Peanut who takes the win. A 4 for 5. Only Peanut comes out on top. It's like the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Yeah.
But Peanut, the last man standing.
So let's take a look at that fight again. So they're starting Baron, which I think is actually a really, really bad decision. Expression gets off a really nice flank. Crash dealing lots of damage. Kuro got locked up instantly and just gets deleted, but they're not. You saw that they didn't lock down Prey instantly with via the Braum ultimate coming out. So because of that, the damage that Prey was just able to dish out was immense, and then they were able to salvage and clean up the fight.
Yeah, especially with that Runaan's Hurricane hitting multiple members for most of that fight. The swag dance at the end, the icing on the cake as well. Peanut, you don't just lose to Peanut. Like he dances you into the grave.
Yep.
6-1-4, highest score on his team. Man, nobody likes Smeb. They're all trying to take his MVP points.
Yeah, I think that's the storyline of this game. Longzhu is really fed up with
They're battling.
MVP.
I was, so we were all in the dressing room about an hour before the show started, and they had a something playing music in One Direction turn on. So we all kind of rocked out in there to that, and it certainly seems like with one win after another, the only direction ROX is going is up.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking for another Baron, right? Play.
Aha! I see what you did there. Baron dropping very, very low. Crash, how good are your steals? Not good enough. Smeb actually the one to take that one down. A kill on the Crash and power on to the Tigers.
That Smeb actually took the Elder Drake last game on Rumble. He just took the Baron on Gangplank. So both junglers losing out to Smeb.
Crash didn't even get a chance to smite.
Yeah.
Went in the pit, was like, do I smite now? Oh, I'm dead.
Interestingly enough, I think that one of the only junglers that can match Nidalee's execute on a Baron is Graves.
Also Elise as well. Walking forward, taking kills. Expression, not sure about that positioning, but that's going to be an inhibitor and probably the game. Crash down for 10 more seconds.
And the teleport coming in to lock up the tower.
4 seconds of invulnerability.
Yeah.
Tower is so dumb, they don't even target different minions. They're invincible. Frozen. He was trying to make that one look flashy, but instead he actually just goes down.
Just take the tower. Can we now?
I mean, is Tower MVP here? It does a lot of damage.
This might be the game. I don't know. What is Peanut?
I don't think they can actually finish here. They're turning it around. Look at that damage. Oh my god. Okay, it is actually game.
All right.
Never mind.
Actually,
oh, ye of little faith. The Church of ROX are strong tonight as they take a 2-0 victory over Longzhu and have a final score that equals their game score coming into tonight, 20-10.
Yep. So that was a really impressive performance from the ROX Tigers, and I actually don't know.
Like, did you see when I danced? Did you see? Wasn't I cool? I took your MVP points, and Spez was like, man,
he's like, I don't even care.
I got enough of those already.
I pressed star a few times.
He's a happy guy, and all of the ROX fans filling up over half of this stadium. probably pretty happy too. So if you're here, then you can stick around afterwards for some fan meet signing things, and if you're not, then you can revel in having witnessed what was a fairly dominant victory.
Yeah. And you know, the MVP for that game, I think it's actually a little hard to say. I don't know if it's going to be given to Kuro. I don't know who's going to, well,
I say Peanut.
Now I do know, but we're going to have to wait to tell you guys.
Okay, well, I said it before I looked at it, so my actual prediction still stands. They are putting the camera on Frozen. I mean, Frozen, like, he's a guy that came back, and I feel like he and Flame both added a lot to the team. But as long as he was a team that has always had things added to it, more and more players, coaches, Lustboy coming in to try and help out and just continuing to struggle.
Longzhu is a really stacked roster that just is not performing. And if we look at it, they don't know what to do on the map. And that's the staff's job. And so because they have such an amazing... I used to compare them to the Yankees earlier on in the season, where they just have these huge salary numbers on a lot of their players, but nothing is actually shown for it, and they end up choking. Now, the Yankees at least win during the preseason, and then, you know, they would fall off in the playoffs, but Longzhu can't win ever. You know, there's like that online meme about the kid that wants to choose where he wants to live. He would choose to live in Longzhu because they don't beat anyone.
In the end, it does stop their win streak, and I mean, they have actually been winning ever.
They did come off of the wins last week against CJ and Ever, but that's not really, that doesn't mean a lot. So they still have a lot of stuff that they need to work on and improve moving forward into the season, and ROX just continues to dominate anything that doesn't say SKT.
And there's the MVP. It's Peanut, 6-1 and 8. 70% kill participation, and an incredibly dominant play style. The Crash coming out in Game 1 really gave him a run for his money, but in Game 2, it was the Peanut show. I guess that makes the rest of his team the Peanut Gallery. Or maybe that's all of us, but Peanut is just doing Peanut things. If you haven't watched the ROX Tigers play, or you aren't familiar with Peanut's play style, look at this and then just replicate it a few hundred times. So that's kind of what it looks like, and congratulations to Peanut, who will climb even higher than Kuro in the MVP points with 500 to his name.
Yep. And the reason that I was saying that I didn't know who would get the MVP is Peanut made a lot of mechanical errors that game, even though his KDA was nice and he cleaned up the Baron at the end. But I think that's a little bit coincidental. It could have been multiple... it could have been Prey cleaning up. So I wasn't so sure who would get it. Would it be Prey or would it be Kuro? But I guess it's awarded to Peanut, which is fine.
Well,
so,
I mean,
yeah.
Much like the Jason Statham movie of the same name, when you're a mechanic, you can fix your own mistakes, and he certainly did do that game. Lots of kills up in the assist column as well, and the ROX Tigers led to a 2-0 victory over Longzhu. And now we're going to be heading into our MVP interview. A fabulous host, a 2-0 victory once again for the ROX Tigers. We go into our first interview. It will be Kuro, the mid laner for ROX Tigers.
자, 먼저 1세트 MVP 프로 선수 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 후불랑은 역시 승리의 아이콘이었습니다. 승리한 소감이 어떠신가요?
오늘 되게
So first of all, how do you feel about the whip?
힘들었는데 첫 경기부터 근데 되게 잘 풀려서 되게 다행이라고 생각하고 있어요.
어떤 점이 좀 힘드셨어요?
Something was difficult about today's match, but in the end I'm really
주도권을 가져왔거든요.
네.
그래서 좀 더 저희가 스노우볼을 굴리기 어려웠는데 그래서 그것 때문에 이겨서 되게 다행인 것 같아요.
Talked about the early kills for Longzhu in Game 1 that started them snowballing.
무조건 프로다. 이거는 무조건 프로 줘야 된다. 막 이런 얘기들이 쇄도를 했습니다. 좀 이렇게 이겨넘는 MVP를 받으면 좀 더 기분 좋으시지 않으세요?
아, 당연하죠.
At the end of the first set, everybody started chanting the MVP is Kuro for sure, asking him if he knew he was going to be the MVP after Game 1.
오늘 1세트에서 기본이 더블킬, 트리플킬 막 이랬어요. 그것도 좀 수적으로 좀 열세한 한타에서 하셨는데 뭐 탑 2차 한타, 그리고 또 바로납 한타 이렇게 했을 때 좀 어떤 쿨이 나왔나요 그때?
가고 있으니까 좀 천천히 하라 했는데
네.
먼저 하더라고요.
Asking about all the calls when they had those big team fight turnarounds.
다 잘 겹쳐져서 스킬 같은 것도 그래서 그렇게 킬이 나올 수 있었던 것 같아요.
아, 크로 선수가 조금 기다려달라는 콜을 했군요.
그러니까 올라오란 콜을 받아서 가고 있으니까 좀
Said the
기다려라.
calls and the skill shots all layered on top of each other really nicely, producing all of those
2차
kills.
타워에서는 뒤로 들어가서 데미지 딜링을 넣고 바로 앞에서도 정말 멋졌습니다. 좀 뿌듯하시죠? 그런 한타 하고 나시면.
아, 네, 되게 뿌듯하죠. 그렇게 게임이 잘 흘러.
So do you feel proud after such
롱주가
team
최근에
fights?
프로즌 선수가 합류하면서
Kuro
경기력이 정말
says,
좋아졌다는 평가가
sure,
많았어요.
it means the game is
그런
going really
평가에
well.
알맞게 또 연승을 또 거두고 있는 중이었는데 경기하면서도 좀 의식이 되셨나요?
의식은 딱히 안 됐는데 항상
So with
저희랑
Frozen
하는
coming
팀들은
back
뭔가 좀
into the
기세가
Longzhu
타서
roster,
오더라고요.
맞아요.
they're on a winning streak and performing really well.
압박감이란
What did you
압박감
think
없지 않아
about that?
있는데 그래도 저희는 락스잖아요.
그쵸. 락스죠.
락스 타이거즈.
Kuro saying that he definitely felt that pressure
어땠나요?
and the momentum
되게
of Longzhu coming
그냥
into
뭐
tonight's
다른
game.
프로
But in the
선수들이랑
end,
똑같았어요.
he said,
그러니까
of
좀
course, we're rocks.
그냥 네.
They're actually not rocks.
프로
So we need to tell him that.
뭐라
네,
해야 되지?
But,
락스니까.
아, 네, 락스니까.
but in the end, yes, they are who they are, and they did.
굉장히 빨랐어요. 근데 롱주가 정말 좋아하고 또 잘하는 루시안이나 니달리나 딱히 좀 견제를 안 하고 풀어주는 느낌을 받았거든요.
저희도 좀 다 알고 있어서
So it was a
감독
very
코치님들도
quick
그런 거 익숙해서
first
저희도 픽한
pick
거기
and ban,
때문에 그렇게 뱀픽이 빨리 된 것
giving
같고
up both the Lucian and the Nidalee to Longzhu.
가져갈 줄 알고.
네, 그랬군요. 오늘 정말 르블랑으로 슈퍼킬을 보여주셨습니다.
Kuro said we knew all about those picks, and we knew how we wanted to play against it, so that maybe that's why the picks and bans went so fast.
준비된 새로운 게 있는데 함께 좀 볼까요?
네.
먼저 질문을 드릴게
Now you can see we have an
이거
open
한번
message
골라볼게요.
board,
다른
questions
멤버들이
from the
보기에 피넛
fans.
선수가 사춘기처럼 보이나요?
아니요,
So
그냥
do the
애인데요.
other members of the
그냥 어린 애
team
같아요.
feel like
아, 사춘기가
Peanut is a
아니라
teenager?
그냥 네. 또 이건 송수원 캐스터의
says-
질문인데 이걸 마지막 질문으로
Kuro says,
하겠습니다.
no, actually
근데
he's just like a little
팬들이
child.
커다란 대포 카메라로 이제 프로 선수를 막 찍잖아요. 근데 좀 의식하면서 짓는 표정이 혹시 있나요?
솔직히
Now, does
예전에는
Kuro
좀 지었는데
have
요즘은
any special
익숙해져서
faces
그리고
for when the
게임을
fans take
하면은
pictures of
딱히
him?
의식이 안 되거든요. 그래서 그냥 게임하는 편이에요. 의식이 안
Kuro
돼요.
says
그러면
he used to, but he's gotten used to it now.
표정을 지어주실 수 있나요? 마지막 질문인데.
Now, could he make that special camera face to the camera right now?
딱히 그런 거 없고 요 정도.
아 너무 귀여워요. 네 인터뷰 감사합니다. 오늘 승리 축하드립니다.
So he replaced it with a finger heart
여기서
to the
1세트에서
camera.
활약해준 프로 선수 만나봤고요. 2세트에서 활약해준 선수 만나보겠습니다.
Great MVP interview by Kuro.
네,
Now we're going to go to our second MVP.
축하드립니다.
It's Peanut.
자 명불허전 앨리스입니다. 소감이 어떠신가요?
네 오늘 저희도 하루
Amazing
준비하고
play.
경기했는데
Those games. How do you feel?
그렇지만 근데 롱주도 하루 준비하고 경기한 거라서
네.
똑같은 이렇게 조건으로 경기한 것 같아서 실력으로 이긴 것 같아서 좋습니다.
오늘 정말 명장면 중에 하나가
So they only had
바로 앞에서
one
한타 때
day to
고독하게
prepare,
트리플을 하고
but so did
난
Longzhu.
장면이었는데 그때 기분이
So
좀
he felt like it was
어떠셨나요?
fair because it was
진 줄
settled by
알았는데
their
네.
skills.
종인이 형이 뭐막 이러고 있길래 화면 돌리니까 제 다 막타만 있더라고요. 그래서
네.
제가 그냥 다 주워 먹었죠. 네.
막타를 근데
Also
아이커뮤니티에
referring
또
to
그런
Peanut's
글이
triple kill
올라왔어요.
in front of the
일부러
Baron.
락스 팀원들은 프레이 선수에게
Peanut thought they
킬을
lost,
좀 안 줄 것 같다.
But Prey
지금 근데 프레이
was
선수가
shouting
첫
to
킬이
keep
얼마
going,
남지
keep going.
않았거든요.
So
진짜 좀
he went
일부러
and got
안
the triple
주고
kill.
내가 먹을 거야 약간 이런 게 있나요?
아니 그런
Also
건 전혀
referring to
없고요.
Prey's
저희가
upcoming
워낙
1000th
탑미드
kill.
정글 이렇게 게임을 하다 보니까 바텀 게임을 잘 안 해가지고
Peanut saying-
그런 거 같아요. 킬이 잘 안 나오는 것 같아요.
오늘 경기에서
It's not like he's preventing Prey from getting any of the kills.
탑쪽이 좀 피넛 선수는 좀 소란스러웠을 것 같아요. 스맵 선수가
But he didn't
계속
get it today.
실패로 물론
They were
프레시
just
선수의 킬 피하면서 살아나가는
trying to win.
명장면도 있었지만 좀 많이 부르지 않았나요, 피넛 선수를?
자꾸 어디 가서 뭐 좀 해달라고.
뭘 그렇게
asking whether or not
해달라고?
Smeb made a lot of jungle calls for Peanut today.
그러니까 그냥 가서 어디를 가서 미드를 밀든지 바텀을 가든지 이렇게 해달라고 자꾸 붙였던 것 같아요.
자꾸 못했어요, 스맵 선수가.
According to Peanut,
대륙을 몇 번을
Smeb
횡단하셨는지
kept
몰라요, 오늘 피넛
making those
선수가.
calls to do something because he's gonna die instantly if he finds Gnar.
앨리스로 활약을 해주셨는데 제가 기록을 살펴보니까 공식전 승률이 거의 100%인데다가 패배한 경기에서도 킬 관여율은 100%였어요.
네, 제가 약간 제일 잘하는 것 같고요.
So apparently, Peanut's Elise
내가
win rate
딜템
is
앨리스로
almost
제일 잘하는 것
100%
같고.
in competitive matches.
그래서 그런
Peanut says,
결과가 있지
I
않을까?
feel like I'm the
피넛
best
선수가 짱인 걸로.
when it
네,
comes
당연하죠.
to
네,
DPS tank
좋습니다.
Flash Elise.
이런 자신감 있는 모습이 너무 좋아요.
And of course I'm the best at
그러면 좀
Elise.
민망한 질문이 있을 수 있는데 한번 보실까요?
Going to
자, 제가 아까 골라놨던
fan
질문이
message board,
있는데
picking out a
어디
message.
있죠? 하나호 선수 귀여움의 비결 좀 알려주세요.
So Peanut, what is the secret to your cuteness?
네,
How
저한테
are you
물어보지
so
마시고
cute?
저희 부모님한테 물어보셔야 돼요.
아, 이렇게 태어난 걸, 그쵸? 이렇게 태어난 거 어떻게
Says don't
하는
ask
거예요?
me,
귀엽게
ask
태어난
my
걸.
parents.
네, 여기까지만 할게요.
알겠습니다. 오늘 인터뷰 감사드리고요. 다음
He says
경기
no-
또
no
ESC
further
에버의
comments.
경기거든요. 자구 한
Nice
말씀
one, Peanut.
부탁드릴게요.
ESC 에버전 2일 준비하고 하는
So
건데
finally,
하루
his
준비하는 것도
determination
아니고
has
이제
approached into the
스케줄가지고
ESC Ever
2일
match coming up
준비면
next for them.
충분히 저희가 잘 준비하고 상대할 수 있을 것 같아요.
네,
Peanut
다음
says,
경기에서도 멋진 모습
although they only
기대하겠습니다.
have 2
인터뷰
days,
감사합니다.
it's definitely
네,
better
이렇게
than
해서
one,
2세트에서
and at this point they're used to it, so they'll definitely prepare hard for the
오늘
match
경기
versus
결과와
Ever.
반영된 순위 변동 살펴보겠습니다.
And that's going to do it for our MVP interviews tonight. Thanks to Kuro and Peanut for their great MVP interviews. You can see points-wise, SKT on top, but numbers of wins go to the Tigers, and that's what you look at first. So up on top at 11-3, and of course down there at the bottom, the CJ Ever Longzhu crew.
Well, it was a little bit weird to me. SKT has 13 points, but the Tigers
Well,
only have 12.
the points are off of game wins. So if you win lots of 2-0s, then you go up further in game wins. But what matters most are series wins, and so that's what's calculated first. So it goes from series wins to game wins, and then you count.
SKT is still having 2 less series
That is
than
true.
the Tigers.
Well, that's because
so far.
they were at MSI, so they didn't play the first week of Champions. Right. And usually in 1 week, a team will have, on average, 1 to 2 games.
Yeah.
So not a little bit behind, but they'll catch that up at the end of the season where you guys get to watch a lot of SKT all the time. Super exciting, so I know I'm pretty excited for that too.
Yep.
So any final thoughts on tonight's games before you wrap things up?
No, I think that I think that Longzhu's decision to change up the jungler was actually really positive, except for in the second game. A little bit of a drop performance after the opening early on, but I think that heads in the right direction.
Yep, Frozen also looking super great in the mid lane. He's been great for them ever since he joined the team and really helped turn their season around. They're doing much better now, and it's nice to see some wins on the board for Longzhu. Not a win tonight, although ROX Tiger is definitely a very difficult opponent, so maybe a little bit too much to ask, but still strong performances nonetheless from one of the weaker teams.
Right, and again, I don't think that it's particularly any one person to really blame on Longzhu. I think that as a whole, they just have a lot to improve on, and knowing how to play the map and how to play rotations out, effectively, especially to translate their leads into wins. But impressive salvage of game number 1 from the Tigers, and nice clean game number 2.
Nice clean games number 2. Well, as our outro says, in the blink of an eye, all the memories pass us by. Tonight is over, and we do want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. We love you. Have a good night.
Songs that made us feel alive. We're satellites orbiting the moon. In the blink of an eye, the memories pass us by. Transmission's over now. Only we could turn back time.
네, 안녕하세요. 미남들 오늘도 시작하겠습니다. 네, 오늘은 저희가 원하는 질문을 하는 게 아니고 팬들이 드린 질문을 할 거거든요. 그래서 오늘 락스타이거즈의 고릴라 선수 모셔봤습니다. 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요. 락스타이거즈의 서포터를 맡고 있는 강범현 고릴라라고
네,
합니다.
오늘 질문이 딱 포인트가 이건데 고릴라 선수님이 이것저것 많은 요리를 해주는 걸로 알고 있다. 그래서 이것저것 요리에 대한 그 궁금증이 많다라는 내용이에요. 그래서 우선 첫 번째 질문. 가장 자신 있는 요리는 뭔가요?
일단 이게 참 오해가 있는데 제가
오해가 있어요?
요리를 잘한다기보다는 이게 이모님이 야식 같은 경우에는 그냥 그러니까 만들어지지 않고 그냥 재료를 다 준비해 주시고 그냥 뭐 끓이면 되거나 뭐 그런 걸 좀 해주시기 때문에 저희 팀원이 솔직히 그걸 다 할 수 있는 선수들이 별로 없거든요. 그래서
근데 그거 그렇게 따지면은 그냥 물 넣고 끓이고 다 할 수 있는 거잖아요. 누구든지.
네, 그래서 약간 좀 오해가 있는 것 같아서 제가 말씀을 드렸는데 근데 솔직히 그것도 못하는 프로게이머들 많은 것 같아서
그렇죠.
네,
그렇죠. 많아요.
프로게이머들이 게임을
떠먹기만 원하는 프로게이머들이 많다.
그러면 대표적으로 누구?
그냥 전부 다?
일단은 움직이려고 하는 사람들은 많은데 제가 답답해서 제가 하는 편이에요. 어쨌든 보면 감독님이 하고 있으시더라고요.
그거 너무 답답하면 또 보는 사람 입장에서 내가 대신해줄게 이러거든요.
너무 답답해서 제가 안 움직이면 한 30분, 1시간 걸릴 것 같아가지고 제가 움직이는 편이라서
락스타이거즈의 핵심은 고릴라다.
참 감독님이 그걸 하고 있는 게 좀 보기가 그렇더라고요. 그래서 제가 대신하는 편입니다.
그래서 결국 요리를 잘한다라는 거는 오해고 결국 그러니까 이모님이 해주는데 애들이 떠먹지를 않아서 자기가 어쩔 수 없이 한다 이런 느낌이라는 거죠?
그래서 뭐 보통 떡볶이도 제가 많이 하는데 떡볶이도 사실
그래도 요리하는 게 어디예요?
시중에 파는 그 소스들과 떡, 오뎅 이런 거를